Right, so here's a wee penguin that's about to jump off a wee iceberg into the water. Now, if it does this, it would make a parabola. So it would enter the water here, and it can swim back up to the surface. Not the best drawn, but it will do for this wee task. Now, what we've got is we've got a wee formula that actually describes this. Okay, so y equals x squared, and that is minus 6x plus 5. Now, just from this one equation, we'll be able to work out where it enters the water, we'll be able to, and where it exits the water, or reaches the surface again. We'll also be able to work out its maximum depth, and we can also work out what height it's actually jumped from the cliff. Okay, and to do that, we just need to treat this as being a graph. Okay, so this is your x-axis, and this is your y-axis. Okay, now to work out where it has jumped off, this is called the y-intercept. Now, to work out the y-intercept, it's always going to be when x is equal to 0. Okay, so what we do is we'll just say, move this along, right, y-intercept x is 0. So what we do is, if you look at the equation, if we say y equals 0 squared minus 6 times 0 plus 5, we've got a y-intercept of y equals 5. Okay, so the coordinate for that would be 0 and 5. Okay, we then want to work out where it crosses the x-axis, and these are known as the roots. Now, it crosses the x-axis when y is equal to 0. So it crosses the y-axis when x is equal to 0, crosses the y-axis when it crosses the x-axis when y is equal to 0. So to work that one out, so we'd say x-intercept, we can say that y equals 0. So if I say y equals x squared minus 6x plus 5. Now we're saying that y equals 0, so what we've got is 0 equals x squared minus 6x plus 5. So what we can do is we can open up two sets of brackets, and we'll find out what x equals for both roots. So x times x, this gives you your x squared. Okay, so it goes from, I'll change my pen size. Right, so it goes from x times x gives you your x squared. We then need to think of two numbers that when you multiply them together give you 5, and if you add them together or subtract one from another, I'll give you 6. So this one's one of these are ones. So there's 5 and there's 1. Now we're wanting to multiply that times that, and that has to give you a positive 5. But when we actually add that to that, so x times 5 to x times 1, it should give you minus. So what we're going to look at is, if we make this one minus and this one, what we end up with is x times x gives you x squared. Okay, minus 1 times minus 5 gives you 5, and then we've got x times minus 5 gives you minus 5x plus minus 1 times x gives you minus 6x. And that gives you your roots, because what we've now got is we've got our roots. We make x minus 1, so we just say x minus 1 equals 0, therefore x is equal to 1. And we can also say x minus 5 equals 0, so therefore x equals 5. So we've now got the roots. So we've got a root at 1, 0, and we've got another root at 5, 0. Okay, so we've now got y-intercept, we've now got the roots. Now we can work out this, okay, and this is known as the turning point. Now, with any parabola, this one doesn't demonstrate it that well. What you find is it's perfectly symmetrical down the middle, okay? So if you folded this over, it would match perfectly. So what we want to find out is whereabouts it's symmetrical, where this line of symmetry cuts the x-axis. And to work that out, we can say the turning point, let's use the x coordinate of it, that equals, you just add the two roots together and divide it by 2. So you say that equals 1 plus 5 divide by 2, which equals 3. Okay, now what we then have to do, so we know this is 3 something. We don't know what the something is. So to work out the y, we just put it into the equation. So we've got y equals, now it's x squared minus 6x plus 5. But now we can say y equals, we'll work out what y is when x is 3. So that's 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 5. This equals, so that equals 9, and that's minus 18, and that is plus 5, so minus 18, so that's minus 9 plus 5, that equals minus 4. So that is minus 4. So the turning point is minus 4, is 3 minus 4, and the maximum depth it can dive to is basically essentially 4 meters, if that's the units. Okay, so it can dive under the water up to 4 meters. So if they ever ask, it says that they can dive to 5 meters. You'd prove that wrong just by working out the turning point. Hopefully that's helped.